you still trading on a free app? Damn, that's cute. Yeah. Out here flexing on some paper gains like that's loot. You ain't got it. I pull 6 figs before I'm even out of bed. What you got? Your bag holding options that are damn near dead. You see me rolling in the Benz, you wonder how. Why you selling your soul for a couple hundred now? I'm stacking chips, flipping options like it's a game. Too easy. You're out here chasing dreams, man, you're lame. I see you panic, selling, stressing, praying for a bounce. Meanwhile, I just shorted and I'm stacking big amounts. You're refreshing your screen, wiping sweat off your face. I just bought another watch just to fuck with my pace. You broke, I'm up, we ain't the same. Yeah, you know it. We trade for survival, I trade for the game. What's that? You flexing 100, that's minimum wage. Shit for real? I just made your whole salary, now back to my trade. Get that money, stack it high, don't play. Yeah, run it. I make more in a minute than you make in a day. Mad. Flipping stocks while you stuck in your grind. Out here, I'm out here balling, you just falling behind. Watch me rise, like you just sit and complain. Watch me, I'm in the fast lane, you stuck in the rain. I'm cashing in moves while you out here just waiting. Still waiting, get your money right, or keep on just hating. Oh, you bought some cars, man, that's cute, you're still a rookie. Yeah, you know I'm out here making 6 figs while you acting all lucky. You chasing that pump, thinking you're on top. You ain't fooling nobody. I'm shorting your whole portfolio, watch it drop. You tryna flip pennies, but your game is weak as hell. I make moves that make your whole account look bleak. So sad, you out here acting like you know the game. Looking lost, but you're buying at the top, looking lame. Keep watching, I'm breaking records, stacking fast. You mad? You stuck holding bags when I'm living life fast. Slow. You buy at the peak, now you crying for a dip. Sucker. Meanwhile, I'm stacking bags while I sip on my fifth. You thought you had a strategy, thought you had a plan. Clown, but you just a kid, I'm the grown man. Grown ass. I'm blowing up the market, you're just another clown. Trash. While you fighting for crumbs, I'm breaking it down. You're broke, I'm up, we ain't the same. Yeah. You trade for survival, I trade for the game. What's up? You flexing 100, that's minimum wage. You broke. I just made your whole salary, now back to my trade. Get that money, stack it high, don't play. Yeah, run it. I make more in a minute than you make in a day. Mad. Flipping stocks while you stuck in your grind. Out here, I'm out here balling, you just falling behind. Watch me ride, you just sit and complain. Watch me, I'm in the fast lane, stuck in the rain. I'm cashing in moves while you're out here just waiting. Still waiting, get your money right, or keep on just hating.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where I have been up for a hot minute. Now, I wish I could report to you that I was up and doing all this extra prep and breaking down Nvidia's earnings and getting into options analysis and giving you guys the prep that you need to get through this trading day. Unfortunately, that's just not true. As you guys have known, over the past week or two, I've been working actually quite a bit to kind of get this stream to the level that I want it to be at. You know, in the last place, it got to a certain level, and then I didn't really want to improve it because I knew I was about to move. And now on the move, I have inspiration to bring everything to the next level. And so on that, based on your suggestion, and this was honestly like a very fair accident, I ended up getting a bunch of 4K monitors. And as you saw from the streams over the past couple of days, it wasn't exactly what I wanted, because even though what I was seeing was amazing 4K resolution, by the time like all those technical wizards do the downscale and then it gets pushed out to you folks, it looked a little bit odd. So I had to punt those 4K monitors, get some 2K monitors, and that at that point, I don't need the downscaling. I could push it out to you guys in a beautiful, beautiful 2K setup. And I said, okay, let's do that. And even though my new monitors, and this isn't necessarily Jeff Bezos's problem, but it kind of is, they were out for delivery at 6 a.m. yesterday, and they showed up around midnight. So I got the alert in the middle of the night, and it's freezing out here, so I didn't want to leave my monitors outside. So I got up, brought them in, and then I had to get up at the crack of dawn today to be able to get this all set up. And I'm starting to find that certain applications across the board don't really give you as much flexibility, customization as you would want in terms of the sizing. So I think I got most of this sized up, but we're going to find out today. So please, at any moment, if you're like, hey, Matt, that is way too big, that is way too small, that is way too bright, we can't see whatever in the world you are talking about, please just let me know, because literally I haven't had time to test it. We're pushing it right to production. We're skipping beta testing. We're skipping all the reasonable steps of analysis and safety checks. We are going to be ripping it live. So folks, like I said, if you see anything too big, too small, too bright, too dark, if you just something's a little bit messed up, let me know, because we might be able to fix it, upgrade it in real time. So we're going to be ripping it with some new monitors. Hopefully the sizing is where it needs to be. Honestly, I'm happy that the camera's even working. I'm happy that the sizing even of the camera, the mic's a little off. That's a bit strange. Maybe I need to position myself a little bit better. I'm happy that this is coming across, and it does look to be. So for those of you streaming, actually, you could do this on Rumble or YouTube. I am pushing through some heavy bit rate right now. I'm talking 18,000 bit rate. So on that, I guess 2 questions. Your camera calibration adjusting too. Your camera needs calibration adjusting. No, it doesn't. I mean, I could see it right here. Adjustion on what side? That's just like a random statement. I'm seeing 4K camera come through pretty crystal clear. It's focused on my face. The coloring was perfectly scaled. I don't know what you're saying, but yeah, sure. I guess you're entitled to that opinion. It's too dark. Yeah, no, I kind of wanted this. I didn't want the like bright white wall. I feel like the contrast between the white wall and me is not appropriate. I feel like this is better. Like, this is intentionally, I wanted the like warmer, calmer, like neon vibe. Like, that was very much a artistic, intentional decision. I didn't like in the last place, it was like the white on white. I was not a fan of that at all. So no. The lack of like extreme white light that was in the previous place on my face with the white background, not a fan of it. And even right now, what I'm still not a biggest fan of is the white wall. Like, I think as I think more about it, one of my biggest issues is that. So I kind of want to change it either to like kind of this like fake either like wood wall or stone wall, and then I obviously want to throw up a neon sign. But I'm going to be doing that. That's like going to be like the final last thing. And I actually do have a light, I think, coming today, like kind of a vertical, a very tall vertical neon light that I think I might be dropping behind me. So that's not necessarily, I mean, if you have camera issues today, 100% let me know. But today's focus is specifically going to be the screen and what you guys can see. And really the reasoning for that is if I switch this up right here, most of the show, I'm going to be this big. So it makes more sense to get this other thing around me to the level that you guys need it at, because we're going to spend the most minimal amount of time this size, if that makes sense. So, like I said, dude, I've been trying so much with the scaling and just like weird little issues. Like, I don't know, guys, if you've ever figured this out. Matt fixed the Rumble stream. What's going on with the Rumble stream? It looks like the Rumble stream, I don't know. I mean, I'm pushing out to it. It's there and it's the right. Hang on, blah blah blah. I'm checking a couple things. It might just be on their side. It is streaming to Rumble and it's streaming to the right place on Rumble. It might be an issue, like a tech issue on their side, because I am pushing out to it. No, Rumble can handle that bit rate. I know they can. So at first I thought it was a bit rate issue, but it's not. It's not a bit rate issue. They can definitely ingest that. They might just be having some tech issues. Come to YouTube. It's been freezing on both Rumble and YouTube. I don't think it's freezing on YouTube. YouTube, are you guys freezing at all? I don't think it is. It seems like it's just a temporary issue on... someone on Rumble is saying that it's freezing on both, but I don't think that's true. Can I quickly get confirmation from my YouTube people? No, it's perfect. No, it's perfect. Yeah. Not freezing on YouTube. Yeah, I see that it's freezing on Rumble, and I don't know why. Yeah, I think we'll just kill the Rumble stream. I guess we could always attempt to restart it later, but it is jumping quite a bit on Rumble. But it's seemingly perfectly fine on Facebook and on YouTube at the moment. Rumble was freezing yesterday and this morning. Yeah, it sounds like they're having some tech issues over there. Of course, Rumble's being Rumble. They're like, we're not going over there. Then go to Facebook. I guess you can also watch on Facebook. So, Rumble people, I trust in you to be able to figure it out. But in the meantime, I just kind of wanted to show you some of the interesting things I found out. For example, TradingView, anything that's a chart, the numbers, the lines, this font, they let you change that right here. You go to settings, you can go to canvas, and you could change that. That makes sense. What's insane is they don't let you alter the size of your watch list at all. The only way to do that is to literally zoom in and zoom out on Chrome. Same thing with the numbers here. So anything that is quote unquote chartable, they let you change that. But the numbers and the letters up top, on the right side, and on the bottom, they don't let you change it. Doesn't make sense to me. Found that out today. Blows my absolute mind. The other thing that I found out, let me switch my... Whoa there, Tonto. That's not good. We lost the camera. All right, hang on. Copy. I need to put this, paste. There we go. Okay, so we're back on this one, but then we don't have one on the left side. Hang on. We got to get somehow the camera disappeared. Let me move the camera over here. Good. All right, so we have that one, and then we're also missing one. We're missing our camera action. All right, there we go. First problem fixed, no issue. Anyway, let me go back to over here. So another thing I found out today, NinjaTrader, similar thing. You're allowed to alter all this font. So 25,392, all of this, you can change it. You can change all of this. You know what you can't change is the font on the bottom, these little tabs, and you can't change the font on buy market, sell market, this little chart trader tool. You would think chart trader, right click, select properties, and you would think logically that somewhere font would be in this zone. So how weird is that I could change the font of all of this, I could change the font of all of this, I could change the font of all of this, but I cannot change the font size of anything over here. What? Like, who thought of this thing of like, I'm going to let the user change 95% of what's going on, but that last 5%, well, they're just going to have to figure it out themselves. Like, insane. You can in NinjaScript. Well, yeah, at that point, but like, who's the average person that's going to do NinjaScript? Obviously, that's the fix that I'm going to have to do with it. But how absolutely insane is it that you have to go to altering the base code to change the font size? Like, that's just truly nuts. And I'm finding that on more and more of the services. So like I said, if you see things that are a little bit too small, obviously, please just let me know. Well, at this point, I might as well make this really small because then we could just make this bigger. So if you're seeing things that are too small, just let me know. But what I like about it is the actual like pixels around all of the text for whatever text written stuff, the numbers, it's all a lot more crisp, which was my overall goal. Like I wanted this stuff to come through in a crystal clear manner. So I'm obviously happy with that part of it. But in the meantime, like I said, at some point today, if you're seeing issues, just yell at me and we'll see if we can fix it in real time. But now that I've been burning 15 minutes explaining the woes of getting this set up, let me get you guys a little bit more prep for today. Stock futures are little changed as traders mull over earnings from Nvidia and Salesforce. Before we get to that, which is kind of the big stock news of the day, I do want to chit chat about some of the bigger global news. U.S. brings tough demands to Iran nuclear talks. Washington and Tehran remain far apart in negotiations aimed at heading off a war. Probably one of the best ways to really track how these talks are or aren't going is really to look at the price of oil. But right now, tensions aren't as bad as they were a week ago, but they're also still not good. U.S. warns Iran's reluctance to discuss weapons is a big problem as fresh talks begin. The U.S. has amassed a large military force in the Middle East ahead of the latest talks today. Thursday, Trump warned really bad things, quote unquote, would happen if Iran does not agree to a new nuclear deal. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said Iran's reluctance to discuss its intercontinental ballistic missile was a big problem. So Rubio, at this point, he's going to be the most powerful man in the world. The amount of places he is currently running, we're about to add Iran to the list, but it might not stop there. Russia says Cuba's situation is escalating after deadly incident with U.S. tagged speedboat. So Russia, very mad about what's happening in Cuba. Another thing that maybe the tensions will boil over. Personally, it feels as if the vibes of the Iran situation is more serious, but obviously you might want to pay attention to this one as well. But wait, there is more. World Economic Forum chief steps down after Epstein probe. Borg Brendy, however you say it, exit comes after the Davos organizer conducted a review of his past connections with the convicted offender. So this guy, which not that surprising that a dude that looks like this was connected with Epstein, stepping down. And I have a question for you here. In what world is that like the worst punishment? Where you're like, okay, we found you did something pretty heinous, hung out with some people you shouldn't be hanging out with. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, you just need to step down. Like if it's bad enough that you're forced to step down, doesn't that mean that there should be some sort of police arm looking into you? So the World Economic Forum, which, hey, I'm going to trust them as far as I could throw them anyway, I guess cleaning up shop, which if the World Economic Forum is agreeing that you've done something bad, you've probably done something absolutely horrendous. The $130 billion race for companies to get their tariff money back. At least 1,800 companies have filed lawsuits seeking refunds from the government following the Supreme Court's tariff ruling last week. On Friday, Trump's tariffs enacted via IEEPA were ruled to be illegal. Once again, tariffs themselves are not illegal. The president can enact tariffs. Apparently, you just can't do it via IEEPA. This one very specific act, and all of the money that was collected during that from at least 1,800 companies are basically saying, we want our money back. Pay us our money. And there's a very good chance that this is going to get tied up in the legal court system for quite a while, because unfortunately, even though the Supreme Court justices, not unanimously, but the majority did say that they are legal, they happen to not comment on how to pay this money back at all. So right now, it is a giant legal question, and it's something that we're going to obviously have to pay attention to. Also, just here that we're talking about Supreme Court, we are expecting kind of, you know how with the tariff decision, we were expecting it and it just took like an awkward amount of weeks, and we're like, is it this week? Is it this week? Is it this week? The same thing's going to happen with Trump's firing of Lisa Cook. At any moment, we could just get an update on, is that legal or illegal? If you don't know that whole thing of like, did she commit real estate fraud? Can Trump even just arbitrarily fire her? That whole question, well, that we're going to be getting the answer to that somewhat soon. So I just wanted to put that on your radar. With respect to today, obviously this morning, 8:30 a.m. ET, is that a little low? Well, I'm definitely on the wrong side. Do you guys want me to zoom in? Does that look a bit better? That might be a little big. I feel like that sizing is a bit better, and I think you guys can see it. Wait, actually, question. This is really important for the sizing of the show. Are most of you watching on a computer or watching on mobile, watching on your phone? If you're watching on a computer, can you put 1 in chat? If you were watching on your phone, could you put 2 in chat? Because obviously that, with like the size of your screen and where the majority of the audience is at, is going to have pretty large implications on how I do this. Okay, so most are on a computer. I see some people are on a phone. Wait, now we have more phone people typing in. Well, TV, that's 3. That's even bigger. Okay. So wait. My people who are on mobile, can you read this decently? Can you see initial jobless claims 212, 217? Obviously, if you're on a TV, you can see it. If you're on a computer, you can see it. But can my mobile people see it? Can mobile see the 212, 217 without like straining your eyeballs? Or maybe a better question is, if you're on mobile, can you see these numbers well? Can you see that NQ is trading at 25,370? Yes, clearly. Well, someone says yes, clearly. The next person says barely. I'm watching on my Samsung refrigerator. We're going to take care of only full screen. No phone. I hold it sideways, a bit small. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. So many things to consider. So many things to consider. I never thought about the Samsung refrigerator situation, but we're going to have to definitely capture that. But anyway, very quickly, I need to finish up with the morning prep here. Initial jobless claims came in at expectation, which really means the big news of the day is earnings. Last night, as that first article referred to, Salesforce and Nvidia. First thing you need to know is Salesforce did not do well. Salesforce shares are down 4% in pre-market on mixed guidance and $50 billion buyback commitment. So CRM is the ticker for Salesforce, and it is currently, actually, it went back green, and whatever chart I'm on, it had a bunch of previous drawings. So at first, the reaction was actually kind of brutal right here, but this morning, people are, I guess they must be saying, we really like this idea of the stock buyback. So Salesforce doing the old Kansas City shuffle, going from bearish to actually fighting its way back green. Pretty impressive. But it's not really the dominant one that everyone's paying attention to, because everyone is paying attention to Nvidia, and for good reason. Nvidia is the biggest company in the world. It is thought to be the representative of the health of the AI trade, and everyone's been paying attention to it. So just so you know, Nvidia right here is still green, but actually about to go red. So it's neutral. We'll call it break even. It closed at 195.56, and we're basically trading at 195.56. The initial reaction was positive, and everyone, including myself, hey, Nvidia is saving the market. Then they started talking, and we went down, we recovered. So overall, it's a muted reaction. So who's winning on this? Well, premium sellers. If you sold calls, congrats. If you sold puts, congrats. Premium sellers win once again. If you are long calls, long puts, obviously the fact that we're not moving at all, you're about to learn what volatility crush is about, because even though we're pretty much at the same value that we closed at, the vol crush is going to destroy your premium today. So what in the world happened? Nvidia's upbeat sales forecast gets lackluster investor response. So when the numbers came out, right here, here's a good shot from this newsletter that I follow. Record quarterly revenue of $68 billion. Revenue guidance for the next quarter of $79.6. Data center revenue is up 1,200% since GPT. Gross margin of 75%. That is insane. Free cash flow of $35 billion, up 220 billion year over year. That, like, these numbers are literal record-breaking numbers. Obviously, it didn't hold. That was the initial one, so we should kind of get into the reason of why. Nvidia stock sees only marginal gains after better than expected results. So I want to be clear, across the board, it did beat. Like, very, very much it did beat, and there was a good aspect of hype to it. Nvidia's forecast points to accelerating growth as Vera Rubin starts hitting the market. So there wasn't something in there of like, oh, like we're a little bit worried about with China, or we had bad margins, or our guidance is a little up. No, that wasn't the issue. In fact, the best reasoning of why I can find that Nvidia isn't ripping right now is probably going to make you angry. Why Nvidia's huge numbers don't settle the latest AI fears. Record sales and booming cash flow come as worries have shifted to AI's destabilization impact. So if you believe Dan Gallagher, if you believe the Wall Street Journal, and like I said, this is the only person attempting to explain why Nvidia isn't ripping right now, is Nvidia is going down, or at least not going up. It's flat. Okay. Nvidia is flat because it's doing too well. So the argument, and feel free to read this yourself, and like I said, this reasoning is probably going to make you angry. But the biggest reasoning, at least according to Mr. Gallagher here, of why Nvidia is not going up is because its numbers are so good that people are starting to get worried about what it means for the larger stock market, the larger economy, and what is it going to mean when so many people lose their jobs. Like, it's getting to this larger philosophical level of, if AI is doing so well, what does that mean for the future of humanity? Now, I don't think that's a good reason. I actually, in reality, don't care about the reason. What I care about is price action, risk reward. I want to know the positioning of large players. You guys know me. I don't like to predict at all, especially in the short term of okay, why is Nvidia flat today? I care about the predictions of Nvidia going up or down multiple quarters, multiple years out. I very much care about that. But in terms of predictions in the short term, it just doesn't matter to me. It truly doesn't matter to me. So even though Gallagher spent time trying to explain why Nvidia is not going up, it's an attempt. I think it's a silly attempt, and it just kind of shows you that, like us retail traders, analysts have really kind of no idea what they're talking about. So I just wanted to share that with you on top of Nvidia and Salesforce and the setup. Very quickly before I move on, if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, do so. It is 100% free. It's in the description of the video. Like I said, 100% free. You've never had to pay for it. You never will have to pay for it. Every single Sunday, you're going to get this newsletter. Breaks down what's going on in the market, all of the earnings, all of the major macroeconomic events, and then the seasonality of each day, which brings us to today, Thursday, February the 26th. Historically, when I say that, I mean over the past better part of 3 decades, 27 years, the Bulls have won this day 54% of the time. So they win it more often, but when the Bears win it, they win it with greater size. So the seasonality, it's leaning bearish. So it's not absurdly bearish. It's definitely not bullish. It's just slightly leaning bearish. So what does that mean for me today? It just kind of means I'm not taking seasonality into account. But I do want you to know tomorrow is definitely bearish, where the Bulls only win it 1 in 3 times. So 1 out of every 3 years, that's when the Bulls win. The Bears win it the other 2 out of 3. So I just want to let you know a little bit about the bearish seasonality concluding the week tomorrow. So just wanted to put that on everyone's radar. And once again, you guys could get this for free. Just sign up for the newsletter. It's in the description of the video. I want to be clear. You never had to pay for anything. You're never going to have to pay for anything. It is a 100% free newsletter. And with seasonality in mind today, I kind of want to show you something. So before we get to this setup right here, before we get to what's going on with the SPY, which is in between the high and the close of yesterday, same thing with the Qs. Even though it's technically red, it's very, very close to the high and the close of yesterday. Nvidia is taking a hit in real time, oddly enough. But what I'm seeing is a big shift in the world of options. Over the past couple of weeks, really honestly, maybe even from the start of 2026 until now, the gamma setup per day has pretty much been the opposite. We've had positive gamma above setting a clear ceiling, and then negative gamma below, where if we start to sell, we could really start to sell. Today is literally the opposite. We clearly have support below all this positive gamma, but then if we get going, and that's a big if, this is slippery price action. As in, we're being dealt the calls. It's no guarantee we have to see the flop, but we're being dealt the cards where we could have a pretty nice bullish day. So I wanted to put that on your radar. And I obviously also wanted to put all the key levels of the day, at least what I'm paying attention to. As I always do, I mark out the previous high, low, and close. Right now, the S&P 500 is around 6,940. I'm looking for the breakout of 50, touching 70, and then 7,000 flat. Now, if the bears are dominant out of the gate, I'm looking for a push into the transition zone, which is between 6,900, 6,930. And then if we don't hold 6,900, I'm looking at 6,880. So that is what I am looking for. And on that particular note, dingity ding ding ding, The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. All right, let's get rocking today. So the S&P 500 is opening up right at its closing value from yesterday. So we're right away battling red, green. Let me get to the 1 minute here. We are seeing a little bit of crazy action in Nvidia. Someone is selling right now. Might be that profit taken that we were chit-chatting a little bit about. Might be a little bit of that profit taken. I'm seeing a lot of red over here. All right, let's zoom in. Zooming in, enhance. Where's our music? Where in the world is our music? Let's get some tendies and tunes popping over here. Just so you guys know, I did do my scalp trades already. This account on TPT already hit the profit target, so I just need more trading days. So I did a $5 scalp. Same thing on the FFNs. I've already hit my profit target. I'm just doing my scalp days just because you have to trade 7 days on FFN, 5 days on TPT. So that's why there's already been a trade done. But in terms of real trades, I haven't done anything yet. In fact, let me make sure my trade copier is set up properly. Yes, it is. Yes. Okay. So yeah, I'm ready to go. I just wanted to show you that today. Well, I was always going to be a good boy today because I spent way too much time trying to get these monitors set up rather than trading like a degenerate this morning. So I just wanted to show you kind of where the accounts are at. I'm sure at some point someone's going to ask me of what's going on with Apex. I haven't heard back from him yet. Once again, like if someone asked me like, are you angry about it? Not at all. I'm anxious because we're talking about becoming a millionaire, but I completely understand that it takes this amount of time with Apex to review. You have KYC, you have AML, especially when you're talking about such a large number. On top of that, you have to very much consider the fact that the recent, I guess, issues with Brian Stonk and influencers gaming the system, not only do they have to review all of your trades, but this time around, it very much feels like they're like really gonna be reviewing all of your trades. So they have to review me as a human to make sure I'm not like a terrorist or something. So AML, KYC, review all my trades. Like it just takes time. I mean, I traded for 73 days. That probably means that I had 500 trades across 15 accounts. We're talking about a lot of trades to review. I understand why the process takes long. So am I angry about it? No, I understand this is just an aspect of the process. Now, does that help my anxiety? Not at all. It definitely does not help my anxiety because it just, I guess, takes time to figure this out. So I wish I had the answer. I wish I had the money in my account. But as of right now, this moment, February 26, 2026, my accounts are still fully frozen on Apex. Not just my trading accounts, but my entire account is fully bricked right now. It's just frozen. I can't do anything with it. I just have to wait for this process to, I guess, conclude. Apex payouts are delayed right now. Any info on that? No, I don't think they are delayed. I haven't heard that. I mean, they send the money. They send you an email saying, hey, I think it's 7 to 10 business days or something like that. I haven't heard about any payouts being delayed. Dude, music. Thanks. Yeah, let's get a little bit of music. What was the one this We Paint All Night? What song was this? Oh, hell yeah. You guys are probably looking for the options flow, so let me get that.
Blue light, no sleep, price ticks like a heartbeat.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. What a bop. Do kids even say bop anymore? S&P 500 getting murked out of the gate. Mag 7 getting murked out of the gate. Let me show you Nvidia specifically. Where is it? Where the hell is Nvidia? Here we go. Also getting hit. Almost looking exactly like the Mag 7. Lot of call selling. So we have profit taking at market open. That's exactly what I put into the Discord this morning. Was I'm pretty strongly in the bull camp. My only hesitation is how much profit taking will there be. And when I say it, I mean like we literally could just see the calls getting sold out of the gate.
Green nights, no fear, all sight. We print all night. They want fast, I want inevitable. They want high, I want measurable. Stack small, they just make it scalable. Build calm, out of unstable. Screens glow like confession booths. Market shows what you.
Bitcoin's getting a bid. Nvidia's getting hit. 5 minute is now bearish. 10 minute will be bearish in 4 minutes if it closes down here. 30 minute. Oh, hang on. 30 minute just tapped. So this feels like it's going to be an important test right here. If like we can hold bullish across the board. All right, we have all that. Let me switch myself over here. On NQ, 5 minute. What time is it? Wow, dude, we are just getting cooked. We're getting cooked. 30 minutes cracking. It's getting cracked. Where is VWAP? We've had one green minute bar today. All the rest have been red. That's brutal. VWAP is all the way up here. It's the 931, 932 high. Wow. This is getting murked out of the gate. Murked out of the gate. Did any of you catch this? Wow. What is going on? Well, I can tell you. Mag 7 is just, the delta's getting a little pop right there. I see buyers trying to step in at 212.50. Let's pay attention to that. It's 937, 5 minute crack, 10 minute crack. It might be a sharp rebound though. I'm a little hesitant to do anything quite yet. Doesn't necessarily feel appropriate. We might just find nice support at the top of the transition zone right here. So I'm watching 930. If it doesn't hold, 915. That's yesterday's closing value or low value. And then from there, 6,900. So to the downside, if you are playing this bearish or if you're even looking for areas to buy, 930, 915, 900 flat. A little velvet Kohrs.
Velvet in the flesh, baby.
A little velvet Kohrs here.
To the market, baby, I slide in sideways like a silk line blade in a velvet parade. While you nervously refreshing, sweating candles.
All right, I'm ready. I'm prepped. I'm ready for this game. What are we doing today? We got a little bit of a pop going on right now. There is an upside gap fill on NQ to 25,439. You might want to mark that out on your chart. We did already sweep the overnight session low. It's around 25,264. We hit it at 8:30 last night. Obviously, we swept it to the tune of 40 points. Wow. What are we doing today? Mag 7 was getting clocked for the first 6 minutes. A little bit of life right now. S&P 500 was getting hit till 934, and now it's just choppy. Nvidia itself was getting hit until about 937. Quite a bit of profit taking. A lot of calls being sold. I'm hesitant to chase it to the downside right now because this isn't bearishness. This is a lack of bullishness. It's a lot of people selling calls. So, I mean, if you made money on the bearish side, congrats to you. But just be careful of overstaying your welcome. Especially because what if the 30 minute just bounces right here off the 50 EMA? Same thing on NQ. Just be careful. Be careful, be careful, be careful. AMC is at all-time lows? Of course it is. It's a trash company. It's a horrible company. All right. Looks like those buyers are stepping in right at this key level. Instead of hitting 30 perfectly, it hit 31. But remember, it's a little bit of an art sometimes rather than a science. The question is, can this actually get going? I don't know. I'm trying to get an idea of which way this could break. I'm not necessarily being sold. Ooh, that's not good.
Good God!
50% retracement. I wonder if that was just like a technical hit. 50% retracement of the range, and then they started selling again.
Remaking, you talk about next big thing. I am the swing, I am the ring, I am the bell that sing. Even your mama say, Lord, that man too slick, cause my candlestick's thicker than your whole watch list. I don't steal hearts, I repossess. I don't need luck, I repossess. Velvet Kohrs, he run the floor. Velvet Kohrs,
Oh, brother.
Velvet Kohrs, make it raw. Did I say more? Velvet Kohrs, gaze of sea. Velvet Kohrs, portfolio lead. Velvet Kohrs, too damn clean. Velvet Kohrs, king of the green. Velvet Kohrs, take it to the
Oh, what to do? What to do? What to do? Or is there nothing to do? Is this the best time to just wait?
You already know who led you.
Past my TPT today. Thanks again, Matt, for all you do for the community. Shout out, dude. Congrats. Massive, massive congrats.
Velvet Kohrs.
Velvet Kohrs. Velvet Kohrs. Whoa. Whoa. Is that us? Oh, it is us. Okay, a little lo-fi. Maybe that's more appropriate for today. Okay, so the blue dashed line is the 50% retracement of the the current session's high and low of regular trading hours. So I find it interesting. Got smacked, and it's also just below this key level of 300. I'm really happy. I was super close to chasing this breakdown right here around 62. I'm happy I didn't, because obviously I'd already be getting murked. So I'm happy, unlike last week where I was chasing it a little bit too early. I did, I guess, seemingly show a bit of restraint today. And I just wanted to see this retest right here that we're seeing. Obviously, there's quite a bit of correlation across the board. Is it a double? Like, was that the short? I see buyers at 50. Finger on the trigger. Finger on the trigger with this particular trade. I need to see the flow.
Order filled. Order submitted.
The intraday low is 224. What do we have going on? I'm only trading with one contract because right now these ranges, this volatility is quite intense. Trying to keep the risk in control. SPY got hit. I might get screwed on this if it bounces right back up, or I might get lucky if they're trying to run it down to 915, which is yesterday's low. I'm just worried about a bounce. All right, I closed it out just in case this rips right here. Remember, there's no pattern day trading when it comes to trading futures. I just got to keep my risk in control. I have no other option. I was playing it with tight risk. Once again, I just got knocked out. I was short just in case that waterfall. Obviously, it did not waterfall. it might be an unfortunate tap out. It could just come right back in my favor, and that's unfortunate. But what's more unfortunate is holding on to a position you shouldn't be in anyway. Fuck. I think I'm in the latter camp.
Order filled.
Wow.
Order submitted.
I literally got top ticked on that knockout. Fuck. That's a bummer. But it happens. It's still for protection, because for all I know, that could have just kept ripping. So, like, is it like, oh, that's a bummer, like that type of a feeling? Without a doubt. But what's worse than that is having a trade that then is just going against you and against you and against you, and the loss then becomes unmanageable. Does taking a loss suck? Yes. But if it's a manageable loss, it's exactly that. It's a manageable loss. It is something that you can figure out and manage. That's the entire point of it. So as much as that's a bummer, because I did get wicked and then it went in my favor and I probably would have been at break even, and right now instead of being down 700, I'd be knocked out for break even. Yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda, dude. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Like, you just don't know what the next bar is going to be. For all I know, this could rip back up, knock me out again. It could vomit. It could go in my favor. You have to keep in mind, like, what's actually in your control and what's not in your control. And as much as I wish I could control this down to go hit 200, that would be nice here. I see a lot of buyers at 225. I see buyers, it's going to knock me out again, dude. I'm seeing Bookmap go crazy. What's the 50% retracement? It says, what is this line? 85. I might close it out earlier. I'm getting ready just in case I don't like this. The point of control is 48. There's buyers at 225. There's buyers at 220 and buyers at 200. So once again, 225, and 220. Interesting. So the buyers are stepping in before the intraday low right now. But obviously the situation's dynamic. What do we just dip to? 34. Point of control is 248. That might be our first higher low. What's the options flow actually look like? Mag 7 is looking weak. S&P 500, 0 DTs trying to recover. Full expiration is not. We're at that 25. The 20 to 30 area is where we were battling it out all day yesterday. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is kind of just like a sticky battle between 920 and 930. Literally yesterday, that's where we were just fighting endlessly. But I'm watching for 915. I'm going to set an alert there because sweeping the previous day's extreme, it is statistically significant. So I want to put that alert out there. And I also want to put an alert on 6900. Just keep technical, psychological, gamma level. How do I want to manage this? I would love... here is... Let me mark out 200. This blue horizontal line on the very bottom is 200 flat. I'm just looking for to see if we get there, and if we do, how do people react? Like I said, there's a lot of buyers at 25 and a lot of buyers at 20, which we're coming for the buyers at 20 right now. Then let's watch. And now the next set is at 200 flat. So we just took out those people at 25 and 220, 225, 220, a lot of buyers, couple hundred contracts, just smoked them. The next one, and it's actually now smaller in size, is 200 flat. So quite a few people got their fill at 20 or 25. Now, were they buying to open, buying to close? You're going to have to ask them. We just know that there were buyers. And obviously buying to open and buying to close are two very different things. Gap fill. Let's see. There is a downside gap fill at that 900 level on SPY. You know what? I'll set a bunch of alerts for these gap fills just so we're all kind of on the same page. But yes, there's a gap fill on SPY. There's a gap fill on QQQ. This is exactly what I was worried about, was how aggressive is the profit taking going to be. It might just be a gap fill bounce. That's totally possible. Right now, the Qs have an inside day. The high and the low of today is within the high and the low of the previous day. I'm back to break even right now. I'm short at 240 after getting knocked out on my first one, unfortunately. Why is this alert? Okay, that alert's there. There's no gap fill on IWM. Bitcoin's doing nothing. Nvidia's getting hit. There's some support 185, 186-ish. Tesla not looking the best. Google not looking the best. Apple's looking decent. Avago's getting hit. Meta is actually trying to get a technical breakout. TSM taking a breather after an all-time high. Microsoft trying to bounce after getting destroyed. ASML taking a break after an all-time high. AMD getting clearly rejected. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Nvidia showing a little bit of life, getting sold off from 194 down to 188. I would say from a technical perspective, we should all be very aware of the downside gap fills. SPX, write this down. It is the high from Tuesday, 6899. SPY, once again, the high from Tuesday, 688.35. QQQ, it is 609. NDX, it is 25,023. I'm watching the downside gap fills if, and this is a big if options flow keeps getting hit the way it is. The delta, SPY 0DT is flat. This is weird, this differential. So people are not touching 0DTE puts, but they are buying longer dated puts, specifically not 0DTE puts, which is noteworthy. All right, I'm watching for 200. Like I said, I have a short right here at 39. If any of you in chat know how to make this font bigger of like where my trade's at, let me know. Wait, can I do it? Properties. Is that a bit better? I upped it a bit. I upped it a bit. That's 21. Can you see that a little bit better? All right, we're testing. This is big. There's 150 contracts to be bought at 200. I'm watching it in real time on Bookmap. 160 contracts. Yeah, there's a wall here at 200. If I had multiple contracts, I would be scaling out one here at 200, just to clarify. If you're doing a scale in, scale out technique, key levels like this are good areas to obviously do your scaling. All right, I'm taking all risk off the table. My stop's at break even. I'm not the most comfortable with it because 200 is key, and based on the ranges we have right now, this could easily knock me out of my position, which sucks because I have a losing trade already and I could just end it right here in the green, but it's just what my system calls for. And my best trading is when I stick exactly to my system. So I have to do it. But hey, congrats. We have a free B trade. A round of applause. A round of applause. The buyers are now at 180 and there's more at 170, but that's if we just actually hold below 200, which I'm expecting some sort of reaction here. It's just a key level. SPX is also at 24, 25, which once again, the 20 to 30 region yesterday was a huge level. I just need this to not bounce much. I need this bounce to fail and fail rather rapidly. I mean, I took all risk off the table on this one. It's a free play, which is my favorite way to do it. And I would just feel a lot more comfortable if I didn't get unfortunately wicked out on the first one. I'm also praying that there's not a 10 a.m. reversal. It's 9:54. I feel like ever since the start of the year, we've been together, not every single trading day of the week, but many trading days of the week, we've been seeing 10 a.m. reversals. So I'm trying to be, I guess, mindful of that, dude. Is this just going to go? Do I just want to close it? Fuck. Come on, double top. How big is it going to spike, dude? Am I just going to get unlucky here? Is it coming for me? It might just be. This is why... fuck it. And where's the sellers? Right at 40. Son of a gun. It's coming for me. That's a big bounce. Come on, turn. Turn.
Order filled.
I closed it out early. It would have knocked me. It's just, I was chased it on that fill. Had to do it. Had to do it. Had to do it. Had to do it. It would have knocked me out. At least I ate away a little bit. It's just a bummer because if I held the initial position or if I had multiple, it would have been better off. But alas, here we are. Sometimes that's trading. Really, if I sized up, which I didn't really want to take on that risk, it would have been the best option because I could have scaled that at 200. The other one would have been break even and I would have been perfectly golden. Perfectly golden. That's a bummer. But hey, made a little profit. So I had a medium-sized losing trade, a small-sized winning trade, and it's all about just keeping your risk in control in all reality. It's just the reason why I was like willing to kind of just cut that is because I'm just seeing key areas, and hey, when you're at a key area, you could easily bounce. And I just look at that. We bounce off at 200. It ripped it right into my face. If I had a better fill up here at 72, I wouldn't have had to worry about it. But alas, I didn't have a better fill. So here we are. Oh, I see a lot of sellers at 45 up top, all the way up roughly where my cursor is. Wow, dude, this volume, we're moving.
Order filled. Order submitted.
Was that stupid or not? Probably was. The better fill was here at 27. And I got to fill at 04, off by about 23 points. All right, we're a second attempt of cracking 200. This time I can't have any retest. If it does it, that puts me in the red because I didn't have a good enough fill. So I can't have it recapture 200 or I'm fucked. It has to be just a swift break and a go. A break. Don't retest it. Just break and go. Just break and go. Come on. Don't retest 200. No. Just break and go. Don't hang out here. Just get denied at 200. It happens to be right when SPX is at 96925, so another key area. Like, this is just a very important area, and it's a 50-50 shot that it breaks in my favor, i.e. on this trade to the downside, which you might be thinking, but 50-50 doesn't sound good. Most of trading is 50-50. It comes back to what's your risk management in the 50-50 situations, which is what I'm trying to get a better hold on today. Come on, just stay below it. It hasn't moved enough in my favor to actually put the stop to break even. At least in my opinion. Of course, you're trading your own account. You should do what you think is best. Come on, take out 92. If it can take out 88, I'm going to front run Icarus and move my stop to break even. I just want to see it at 88. Come on. No, don't do this. Don't do this. Just take out 88. I really don't like altering Icarus, but in this scenario, when it's taking risk off the table, I don't necessarily mind it. We hit 90. Shit. Dude, vol's picking up. Oh, what's going on? Lots of trades hitting the tape. Things are getting spicy, folks. Things are getting spicy. We're really, really picking up in terms of speed. A lot of buyers at 190. I'm hoping they can get cracked. And if they do, minimum, I should move my wrist, which they did just get cracked. All right. I'm at least updating my risk. Only 10 points of risk. That's something that's very much in control now. So I'm not taking on wider risk. You know what? Fuck it. 11. Dude, I'm going to feel stupid if I move it to break even and that gets tapped out, but it doesn't hit 14 and vomits anyway. But I'm already down. I can't talk like that. I gotta trade this. I have to. It cracked. If I got a better fill, I'd be in a better position. I chased the fill, so this is just the bullshit I have to deal with, and it might just be knocking me out. But it is what it is. Gotta be risk top of mind every day, day in, day out. There we go. Stops at break even. It's a freebie trade. My break even is at 80. 180 is my account break even. The trade break even is 204, which is where the stop is. But I'm, as you can see, down by some. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Show me the money. Show me the money.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money. Dollar, dollar.
You getting mad? I'm getting rich. You getting mad? I'm getting rich.
He can't keep getting away with this. Matt on wrong side. Wrong side of what? Life or the stream? Wrong side of what? You know what really can send the market? What's Lil Kohrs featuring Vicky Volatility? What is this song? Oh, fuck yeah. All right, my count break even is 180, so that's my goal. Is to get the stop to there.
I just leave them there, I don't even care, no. Holding up a flare, I could use a prayer. Oh, I got cash in my pocket, but I'm barely alive.
Don't know why, but it feels like my world is crashing down. I just bought that
How big are these bounces going to be, dude? No way are we... Bro, how big are these bounces? We got as low as 135. Like, come on.
I used to screenshot dreams, now I panic by habits. Me and my boy back at that desk, no rest, we mapping, right in place, down on napkins, charts so small, we shared a tablet.
Look what happened.
I really want to move my stop to this level, but we're just too close right now. Come on. If it can crack 162, I'd feel more comfortable with it, especially if it cracks 154. I'm just worried. I'm really worried that it's going to overshoot 200, tag me out, and then vomit anyway. Come on. Fuck.
Don't know how I get so high, but I'm not cashing out. Hope my gains are in my blood, I don't pass them out. Hope I'm alive to see the market.
Come on. Crack it. 162.
Too fucking cracking, my portfolio shattered. Don't ask where I'm at, I've been battling the fact. My greed turned savage. The only thing the chart asked was for me to manage, but I hung up too fast, went to sleep in denial. Lost more in one night than I made in a while. We all need
Fuck, dude. Second time today. Vibes are not good on this one. Spy just got a flow alert. It could be that 10 a.m. reversal. Is it? Is it not? The timing's off. Or off for me, as in this is could be. 190. Dude, I'm sweating this one.
But I'm barely alive.
Come on. Come on. May the market gods shine upon me. All right, so I put mine $300 in profit after $500 loss. So I'll be down $250 if that gets tagged. So it's somewhat getting myself out of a hole. I guess I could arbitrarily do 180, but it doesn't, like, it's not a technical level. Hopefully the market gods just shine upon me and we just come all the way down to 134. I am continually watching SPX over here. Right about here. See how this reaction was right at that low from yesterday. Right at that low from yesterday. From 915. Remember, a big target is 6,900. Positive gamma. And then we actually have some action at 6,870 now, which was not there this morning. Shit. That's not good for me.
But I'm barely alive.
Come on. What are we doing? What are we doing today? What is this madness? What is this madness? All right, take out 150. There are buyers at 150. Honestly, it would be front running Icarus, but I could probably just move my stop to this level because then that guarantees green. Well, it doesn't guarantee it, but on the current trades. Shit. I need a failure here. I need a failure here. What's this low? 151. Okay. If we take out 150, I'm going to move mine to 180, and then that should really help the overall state of the accounts. But obviously, this trade itself is looking good, up 800. Come on. Which way are we going? This is not us. That's a good song, though. Hang on. Let me go to the right playlist. That was my fault. I got too distracted. I got a little too distracted. View full playlist. What's this one? All right, so that should fix most of my issues. Some accounts will be slightly red if that gets tagged, but it is playing off the technical high. Am I front running Icarus? Yeah. Icarus is actually still telling me to keep it at break even. We just, based on the current ATR, we haven't moved enough for the update. So Icarus is agreeing to take on no risk. I'm moving my stop into profit just to help with some of my previous poor, unfortunate decisions and mistakes. So it does increase the likelihood of it getting tagged, but it just also generically manages the state of things. So maybe I get lucky and this cracks. I mean, we just had a double bottom here at 150. I need it to crack, and then I need it to go down to 100, and then I'll feel a lot more comfortable. But I think this is the best risk management for the current state of these accounts. She wanna ride like a wave on the sea. I don't say much, let the stats talk heavy. Whole click moving like a ghost in I feel like this is the right decision. Do you guys agree with that? Do you think I should leave the stop where it is right now at 178? Or do you think I should actually follow perfectly at Icarus and leave it at 204? How would you guys do it if you were me? Keep in mind that I'm down 500 on the day. Like, I'm trying to be a little bit less risk accepting. I feel like old Matt would have left it at 204. Right, click on chart, properties, income, make it like it, but also changes the price size. Yeah, I'm talking about the font over here, though. The buy market, sell market. Like, the font right here is what I can't change. ATR is too big. ATR is massive right now. It's massive right now. The 1 minute ATR is 26 points. That's just fucking nuts.
Got cash in my pocket.
We just heard this one. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. So what I'm actually more so watching than NQ and like all these levels really is SPX. I want to know, are we taking out the low from yesterday, which is 915? We're at it. Like this could be like, all I can tell you is we're at a key level. SPY is at the low from yesterday. Qs are at the low from yesterday. If it keeps going, I'm making money, but it also could be an area where a lot of people want to buy. It makes sense to me. Like I would say part of the reasoning of my play beyond just like the system is if 915 snaps, I have a nice 15-point push to the next key level at 900, which could be like 100 points on NQ, but it's about to knock. It's getting close. Shit. It's getting real close, dude. Come on, get away. Get away. Get back below 50. That was kind of an unconvincing breakdown of 50. I mean, I get it. Buyers are stepping in at the low of yesterday. Now, who's going to win the battle? I don't know. We'll be finding out somewhat soon, but I see why price is slowing down exactly where it is. We're at the low. We're at the low. What you could watch, if you feel like you're having FOMO, is you could look for this trend line breakdown and then risk whatever the recent pop high is. That's not the craziest strategy. Nvidia is not looking the best. Oh, am I about to get tagged? Come on. Snap. 50. There's buyers. Oh, we just took out a bunch of buyers at 51. 140 is next. Obviously, the intraday. This might be opening up that door. Like I said, what I really care about here is if SPX snaps 915 like it just did, the play is 900. All right, I'm updating mine a little bit to 74 just because that's the high, the recent high. Obviously, 100, which is where we're at right now, is very important. People love to trade these 100-point rungs and the 50-point rungs. So I'm watching 100. I need to close this account because I've already hit the goal.
Order filled.
All right, I closed out just one account because I hit that 9K profit that I needed. So there's no point in continuing to trade it. So I closed out one of the 14 I'm trading because I hit the 9K profit. Oh, wait, shit. That's also true with these ones. Shit. Go, go, go. Matt, focus.
Order filled. Order
All right,
filled.
I closed out two more, same thing. It already hit the target, 9K, 9K, 9K. So the ones that are realized right here, realize, there's no point in me continuing to trade them because they hit their profit target, if that makes sense. Like, you hit 9K, like, why are you still trading? Because you're done. Like, you just have to wait to upgrade it. So hit it. So those ones are donezo. The other ones, I have room to run, I suppose. Yeah, these funded ones, there's no consistency there. The lucid funded, so they could just keep going. The take profits, these ones still need to get to 9. These ones still need to get to 9. Actually, these ones are 3-4. The tradeifys are 40%, so I think that's $3,600, I want to say. Check all the accounts. Well, these ones are there. All the ones that are already at 9K that are evals, they're done. I'm just going to scalp trade them. There's like literally no upside for me to continue to trade them. Like I said, this is my goal. I'm telling you, as soon as we hit this, I'm taking my money. Like, I think there's a real shot of a bounce here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
I just made your whole salary, now back to my trade. Get that money, stack it high, don't play. Yeah, run it. I make more in a minute than you make in a day. Flipping stocks while you stuck in your grind. Out here, I'm out here
Order
balling, you
filled.
just falling behind. Watch
Boom.
your eyes, like you
Boom.
complain.
Boom
Watch me,
goes
I'm in
the
fast lane,
weasel.
stuck in the rain. I'm cashing in moves while you out.
Done. I don't need to overcomplicate shit. 2.5K made per account, maxed out the other accounts. Dunzo. Dunzo. Dunzo, dunzo, dunzo. Easy. Easy. Fucking didn't question it for a second. Easy peasy lemon squeezies. And that was all made through a losing trade, a break-even trade, and a winning trade. So I was 1-1-1, 33% hit rate, and yet I was able to make all of this. Let's see what the damage is. Let's see what the total is. What's the total? What's the total? What's the...
I just made your whole salary, now back to my trade. Get that money, stack it high, don't play. Yeah, run it. I make more in a minute than you make in a day. Flipping stocks while you
What's the total?
I'm out here balling, you just falling behind. Watch me ride, you just sit and complain. Watch me, I'm in the fast lane, stuck in the rain. I'm cashing in moves while you out here just wait. Still waiting, get your money.
33K. Not a bad fucking deal. Not a bad fucking deal. And that's 45 minutes worth of work, folks. Could I have held it and made more right now? Of course I could. There's where I got out. I got out at 9:15. But why did I get out there? Because it was a majorly important level. It was, for all I know, we could have had a monster bounce off of 6,900. Like, I don't want to give that back. I care more about, because some of these still have the trailing drawdown. So, like, if I can get out at the max profit and not have to survive a bounce, good. I mean, the way we're bouncing right now, that could have been exactly at the level I got. I'm not going to count on it. Like, if you have multiple contracts, yeah, you have the ability to, like, ride and just scale out. Like, that would have been a good scale out area. But I had one contract, so I just had to pick the first level. So I hope that makes sense. But for me, right here, I just want to go over what's going on. So all of these funded, see how it says LFF? Let me turn this down for a second. Some people are asking for a trade breakdown. More than happy to do it. So just to explain, the LFFs are the ones I care most about, the top 5, because Lucid Flex funding. So as in, I can get payouts from these ones. LFE is eval. I stopped those at 159, technically an extra $700 buffer, because I've already hit the goal. So I could upgrade those when appropriate. So I've already hit the profit goal. Same thing with this take profit. I stopped it early, $1,000 early, because I hit the goal. Take profit, this one already hit. All the ones that say 159 that are evals, I'm not going to keep aggressively trading them because there's no upside. It's literally just downside risk. I just need to scalp trade every day. So the ones that I could theoretically keep trading are the funded, because there's no consistency there. And also these other evals, the take profit, tradeify. Yeah, I could keep trading, but also why? At a certain point, like, okay, I finally caught the move after battling with it a little bit. I was able to make $33,000. Like, at a certain point, like, if the market gods are shining upon you, you don't want to spit back in their face and say, shine upon me more. Like, I'm stoked with these gains. I made good money. It was a bit of a battle, and yet it worked out. So I just want to explain the state of the accounts and why I'm basically already done on the day, because 45 minutes worth of work, trading one NQ across how many ever accounts I have to make 33K. So you watch SPX to trade NQ? Yeah, I watch a lot of things, like, because I want to understand the general picture of the market. I'm going to pay attention to the key levels on the SPY, which is on SPX, on SPY, on QQQ, on NDX, on NQ. Like, I find that a lot of people want trading to be like this one all perfect thing of just like, this is what I pay attention to, and that tells me everything I need to know. I don't agree with that. I think you have to get a general idea of how the puzzle is setting up. And that's what I did today. Like, I was looking at the key levels because we know these are highly correlated. So yeah, I'm going to try to get an understanding. Like, is SPX at a key level? Because if SPX bounces, the chance of an NQ bounce is high. Same thing on NQ. If we're at a major level, such as 25,000, a huge level. Well, if it bounces, yeah, there's a good chance SPX starts to bounce. So I still think there's going to be a bounce here. I want to be very clear. We are at major levels across the board. SPX is at 6,900. NQ is at 25,000. SPY and QQQ trying to hold their low, overshot it, and guess what? We're coming up to those downside gap fills. NDX got the downside gap fill. SPY got the downside gap fill. QQQ got the downside gap fill. So what does that mean? I think, like me, a lot of bears were using that as their target. So even if bulls don't step in, you might see this thing where people lock in their, like right here, this whole time, people were buying puts. What's different now? People are no longer buying puts because of that puke. So I'm almost predicting a mean reversion bounce, not necessarily maybe bullishness causes it to happen, like new bullish positions, but I'm actually more so looking at a lack of bearishness, of people locking in their bearish gains, similar to the way that I did. I just see it at these key levels. Now, is that a guarantee they have to? No. I mean, obviously, at any point, people could get more bearish and less bullish. Of course, that is all theoretically possible. But for me, especially because I was playing a little bit for my heels today, that first trade was a loss of either 500 or 600. When it went, and then all of a sudden I was at this level, like if I held it, I would up quite a bit more right now. For sure. I got out at 25,050. I could have had for 25,000, or I could have just been sitting here with you guys. And yes, that is something you are afforded when you have either you're not down and you're not playing from your heels the way I was, or maybe you have multiple contracts and you scale out. You could have scaled out at the key level. It keeps going. You scale out a little bit more. It keeps going. You scale out a little more. But today, because of the increase in volatility, I was only trading one contract. So when you're only trading one, you have to trade it kind of as your first scale out target, because that's your first target for a reason. So that's what I did. Like, obviously my best trading is made when I am doing multiple scale ins and multiple scale outs. But today, because the ATR and vol is so high, I was only trading one contract. So for me, the perfect situation would have been scaling out there where I did on the first one, which I had to do that today because I only had one contract. If I had two, the second one would have been at 25,000 flat. And if I had three, that would be the runner. The stop would be at break even, and I would just let it run as far as it could possibly run. I love 3-piece trades. Scaling in, and then scaling out. I do my best trading when I'm playing 3 at a time, because it's your first target, your second target, and then runner. If you're playing with 2, it's obviously first target, runner. Or you could do first target, just second target, I suppose, if you wanted. But when I say best, I also just don't mean anecdotally. I mean like quantifiably. Like when I look at my own trading journal, I do my best when I'm doing 3-part positions. Scale in, scale out. I use 2 fills and then kind of like an extreme one. Sometimes on the fill side, I'll do just 2. Like I'll do a position of 1 and then a position of 2, or a position of 2 and 1. Generally, when I'm scaling into a position of 3, it's only 2 trades to get into it, just to be fair. But then to get out, I love target 1, target 2, runner. That's my favorite way to do it. I'm not saying that's the only way to make money. I'm just saying that's the way that I've made money. So that has a little commentary here. Today, why did I not have multiple positions? Well, the reason I have multiple positions today is because we're moving 100 points like it's nothing. Like literally, the second minute of the day, we dropped how many points? 60? It's just like, if I got into a position of 2 or 3 and I was wrong, I'd be down thousands of dollars. So I literally could not scale up today because it would put my accounts at too much risk. So I had to play it with one. Yeah, you could argue, Matt, don't play minis, go play micros. And if you wanted to, instead of doing 1 mini, you could have done 15 micros and done 5, 5, and 5. You're right. I just didn't feel like doing it. I have no mathematical reason. I have no trading reason to disagree with you on that one at all. I don't. You are mathematically right. You are risk right. You are profit potential right. You are right across the board. I just didn't fucking feel like it. I trade NQ. I don't trade MNQ. Maybe it's arguably the weakest part of my trading because I refuse to trade MNQ. Why do I do it? I don't know. Ego. Hubris. I'm a degenerate. I have no good trading, math, variance, risk reason to do it. My reason of why I don't, and it's not a good reason, I fully understand, is I'm a fucking degenerate. I just don't feel like doing it. So I'm trying to be honest. So maybe you're better. Maybe you have monk-like discipline that like you can actually pull that off. I'm just trying to be honest of what is tactically the right thing to do, and then what's the degenerate shit that I actually do. Those sometimes they overlap. I think the management of my one position today was a good overlap between technically what you should do and good risk management. But in terms of the base of what I was trading, no. You're spot on. I should have been trading 15 micros. I should have gone probably all in at once and then scaled out 5, 5, and 5. And I'd be up quite a bit more money right now. Actually, a decent amount more money right now had I done it that way. So yeah, it would have been better management across the board, without a doubt. I can't disagree with you. That is very, very fair criticism. But anyway, someone was asking for a trade review of like beyond the scaling conversation of specifically what I saw. Okay, a couple things that I need to preface this with. It's a little bit more detailed. And if you want to trade with me, that's what Goonie Trading is for. GoonieTrading.com. I'm in there every single trading day. We talk about the market. There's a bunch of pre-filmed videos, or they were live at one point, but you could watch all the previous lectures. So in there, you can get my trades, whether it's options trades or futures trades. It's a conversation. There's some bots in there. I don't know. I like it, and of course I'm going to say that because I built it. The best way where maybe you should consider if you should be in here or not is go find another member of it and ask them if they think it's worth it. That's the only fair thing I can come up with, because of course I'm going to talk it up. I made it. I'm in there. I'm making money. To me, it's a fucking no-brainer. And if you look at it as like a basic business decision, hang on, don't look at my password. This isn't even futures trading, which I'm actually up quite a bit more on futures trading than I am on options trading. But just for those of you who are options trading, yesterday made $800. The day before that, I didn't do any trades. The day before that, $300. The day before that, $1,700. The day before that, $1,200. The day before that, $675. The day before that, $3,240. The day before that, 2,100. These are all real-time posted trades, as in when the entry happens, I post it. When the exit happens, I post it. Ask anyone in the Discord, they will tell you all that stuff is posted in real time. And that's actually my smallest account. All of those results are from my smallest options account. I have a larger options account, and then of course I have a bunch of futures accounts. So what I just showed you is from a options account that started with $30,000 in December. And since then, from December 1st until now, February 26th, its return is 140%. And it's gone from 30,000, that account, which I started it with that because that's right above PDT, to, hang on, I'm looking at the real-time value, 71. So it's 140% return. It's trading at, the account's worth 71,000, started with 30, and that was on December 1st. So, I would say think of it as a business decision. Between the community, the education, and what you learn about trading, do you get more value than that, than the cost of the fee to be in here? I would say it's a very apparent, evident yes, but that's also my own opinion. So if you want more of a detailed explanation, this is a very long-winded, pitchy way for me to say get into GoonieTrading.com. It's in the description of the video. It's pinned to the top of chat. But with that in mind, I'll give you guys a freebie right now so you can kind of better understand what the fuck I'm talking about. So based on a myriad of stats, looking at the first 10 minutes of opening, and these stats are discussed in the Discord. There's videos, there's lectures. It's very data-driven. The fancy word is Bayesian probabilities. You might have heard of the term conditional probabilities, but the way I view the market is tell me the situation you're in. Are you breaking out? Are you breaking down? What are the EMAs? Let's look at that situation. Let's mathematically define it of whatever you care about. Let's ask AI, ChatGPT, or maybe Python. Let's get into the history of it and say, all the other times we've been in this situation before, are we breaking out? Are we breaking down? Is there a gap? Is it the day after Nvidia's earnings? Literally, you just say, hey, this is the overall condition. We are in this situation. All the times in the past that we've been in that situation, how has it played out? And then from there, you can start to develop an edge. So based on the market open, and like I said, a lot of conditional probabilities, I knew that the bears were favored. And I didn't know this before the market was open. I'm just talking about day trading here. From 9:30 to 9:40, based on what I saw specifically in the S&P 500, but also in the NASDAQ, I knew the bears were favored. So I took a shot at it. I waited for the data to produce. It bounced. And then Icarus, which is one of my trading systems, told me to take a short position. All right. And actually, just to make this more clear, data series, I just want you guys to be able to follow along with it. Once again, I'm kind of giving you guys a little bit of a sneak peek of the type of stuff that happens in the Discord. So right here, my first trade of the day was at 944. I took a short position at 25,246. You can see that I was keeping my risk really, really tight because as soon as it broke the previous high, I got out. I basically said, nope, I don't want to see that. Obviously, when you have a higher high, that might be a new bullish trend. And even then, it's like I had to be this aggressive with it because that was still a 30-point loss. That was $600. Later in the day, when the volatility calms down, maybe you can hold it from like a previous high or something like that. But whatever, I didn't want to do it. And I said, okay, I got to get out because I could show you this right now. Let me cover this trade. No one in here can definitively tell you that the next bar was going to reverse the way it did. I could show you in another alternate universe, the next bar is a giant green bar, and instead of taking on a $600 loss, it could have been a $2,000 loss. So you always have to think about it of like, okay, what's the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario for me on this breakout was that this was a double bottom fake out, just a double bottom in general. The market, the profit taking was over, and we were just going to pop and rip. That is totally 100% possible, hence why I got the fuck out, which was a loss. Once again, I want to clarify, my first trade of the day was a loss. Then, unfortunately for me, it was a fake out. We're not in the universe where this was a big green bar, it was a big red bar. So I had to get into that position again. It started to break down. Icarus fired again. I took the short. And this time, it did go in my favor. Unfortunately, as soon as we hit this key technical psychological level of 200, which also aligned with SPX at 6925, buyers did step in. And look at that. I protected myself. It came all the way down. This is where I went short right here at about 38. I had the stop at break even. And why did I do that? Yes. Did it end up vomiting in my favor? It did. But in an alternate universe, it easily could have been that bounce because we were at a key level. It's all about protecting yourself. And then guess what? It didn't bounce. Icarus fired again. I took a short again. And this is the one that it never came back to retest me. And fortunately, that was the final one that broke in my favor. And if I had multiple contracts, I would still be holding one right now, but I scaled out the first one at the first target. The second one would have been 25,000 had I had it, but as you could see, I was only trading one. And then if I was trading a third one, I would literally just be arbitrarily in it right now, stop at break even, and I would ride it as long as I can until the 1 minute pops back above the 50 EMA. That's how I would do it. So if I had multiple contracts, I would still be in one. I would have scaled out. The final one would be riding. I just gave you the explanation of the entries. And once again, to kind of better explain this reasoning and the stats of why I knew in the first 10 minutes to be looking bearish, all that stuff is what we talk about in Goonie trading, but that's just for futures. Obviously, as I showed you, we talk about options trading as well. And other than that, a lot of the trading day, you're not trading at all. So if anything, it's just kind of bullshitting with a cool group of people. A lot of the trading hours are actually not trading at all. I want to clarify, like I'm done now. So like on those trades, like if you think this vibe of what happened and it was craziness and you're looking for that to happen every single minute in the Discord, no, in the Discord, I take trades if the trades are there. But I want to be clear, most of the signals are early in the day. By the time you get to the midday session and the later session, most of it is more of talking about the education and the stats and the management. And it is not just like degenerate, like we're going for it and we're ripping long, we're ripping short. Yeah. Every once in a while, something is setting up where that is appropriate. But I just want to set expectations because if you think that this type of like high octane thing is literally happening 24/7, that would actually be unsustainable. So if you're signing up and thinking, dude, we're ripping those trades all day, every day from whatever, 9:30 to 4 p.m. No, the market slows down. The market has its big move commonly in the morning and then it's done for the day. Obviously, you can find examples of other stuff happening, but most of the time, that's just not how it works. So I do want to kind of set expectations that a lot of it is like reviewing trades, talking about stats, talking about whatever the fuck's going on in the world. Because yeah, like sometimes trading does get boring and there's just nothing to do. And rather than you signing up and then getting pissed off that it's not those types of trades from 9 to 4 or 5 days a week, I'd rather just tell you right now. But anyway, that's a little bit about the Goonie Trading Discord. And obviously that's a full-fledged trade breakdown of how I was able to make $33,000 today. But remember, even though that's $33,000, let me just do my part here and like kind of pull back the curtain about like influencing and that shit a little bit. So many influencers and traders and gurus will just be like, yeah, I made 33K today. But remember, it only counts on the funded accounts. Like, who gives a fuck if you're making money on the evals? It's cool that you're getting closer to passing the evals, but in reality, what matters to me is the 12K that I made right here on the funded accounts, because those aren't far away from being actual real money to me. So did I make $33,000 trading? Yeah, but only 12 of it like actually kind of matters, if that makes sense. So right now, just, I don't know. I wanted to say that because the current state of trading, influencing, and streamers is they're not going to tell you that. They're just going to show the big numbers to try to get you to sign up, this, that, or the other thing. I just wanted to be like, I don't know. I'm stoked that these accounts are all up for sure. I'm stoked that I made money across the board, but the only ones I could actually pull money out of, and I think this starts tomorrow, are the top 5, the 2.5K Lucid Flex funded. Just want to be very, very clear about that because we have a giant lack of clarity right now in this particular industry. All right, now we're starting to see a potential reversion. Maybe. What is... Yeah, okay, so where are we slowing down? Right at all these key areas. You have, what is the position? Oh. It looks like someone has on a gigantic put debit spread, not a credit spread. There's a lot of people long at 6,870, and then the protection is 6,865. That's a bearish bet. It's a conservative bearish bet based in structure, but based on size, that's actually kind of an aggressive bearish bet. But look at where price finally stopped. It stopped right where all the big money was positioned. Like, this is why, if you're trading without knowing options positioning, you're trading in the dark, folks. The question of why most likely are we bottoming exactly where we're bottoming? Like, if you're just looking at price action, this would seem random. 685, what the fuck is that? 604, what the fuck is that? Like, you'd be looking at it and it wouldn't make much sense. And then really, why does it make sense? Oh, it's just where all the gigantic positioning is on the options market. So I think this is a great real-time example of, like, you have to get some sort of tool that tells you where the big money is at in the world of options. And right here, I mean, I could pin it. I was front running it at the level before. This was important earlier on. And then guess what? We vomited to the next leg. This is it. I have no idea where today's going to go, but I would not be surprised if the bottom is officially put in and like literally being put in 5 minutes ago. Just looking at not only this positioning, but then we compare that together. Hang on, let me reload this. Pairing that all together, look at the options flow stop vomiting. I'm literally pinpointing the bottom for you. Options stopped bottoming at 1021. Price found a bottom about 10 minutes later, 13 minutes later. And from there, we're literally at a new gamma high in the 0 DTE. And then if we look at the Mag 7, right there, it bottomed exactly at 1035. Now, I'm not so convinced on the Mag 7. I would want to see a little bit of a stronger recovery. But I want to call this out. Like, there's a very, very real, like, math, statistics-based reasoning for this being the bottom of the day. I'm calling it out at 1038. We're, 3 minutes removed from the actual bottom. I'm throwing it out there. Looking at this structure, we hit positive gamma. Looking at the recovery in the S&P 500. Looking at the potential start of the recovery in the Mag 7. Of course, it could turn back down. That's possible. And maybe people are super aggressive and they run it through this zone. But the market makers were supportive of this move on the way down because of all this negative gamma. As people were buying puts, they were shorting the underlying, pushing it further and further. But now the market makers are no longer supportive. We ran into positive gamma. So you would need that much more bearish sentiment or a giant lack of bullish sentiment to crack these levels. There's a real shot that we just saw the bottom of the day, looking at how this data is shaping up. So, okay, are there any questions on that? Questions on the Goonie Trading Discord, questions on Lucid, you could get 50% off there. Questions on TPT, you could get 40% off there. Questions on the key levels, questions on the options flow, questions on SIMDA funded. Since we're doing a little bit more of a AMA teaching type of a vibe, questions, positive gamma, negative gamma, questions on options flow in general, questions on spot gamma, questions on SIMDA funded. This is your moment. This is your moment where you could do an AMA and ask me what's going on. This is your moment, folks. Let the questions fly. You're getting a freebie. This is generally what's reserved for the Discord, but I think we're just here. Matt, is wife real? I don't know, dude. The way she spends my money, it's real. What is positive gamma? Positive gamma from the perspective of market makers is where trading participants, you, me, hedge funds, like all the players who deal with options, are selling premium. So if you sell calls, you are generating positive gamma from the perspective of market makers. If you sell puts to open a position, that's all positive gamma. Creating a position by selling premium is positive gamma. And then obviously creating a position by buying premium, long calls or long puts, is negative gamma. What is the strategy you execute based off of? Many indicate. I made it myself. I call it Icarus. It's my own strategy. I built it many months over the summer, endless nights of data mining. So I guess price action is probably the most fair, logical way to explain it. Just got 1K on my first Apex account. Should I go for the drawdown or should I go 1K a day for my first payout? Thanks. What's your advice? It depends on your strategy. I don't think there's any like perfect solution. It's like you and your trading and your strategy. Can we have a drinking trading day on Monday? Let's get liquored up. Oh, it feels like drinking at 9 a.m. is a little early for your boy. I'm not against drinking, but 9 a.m. seems rough if you're not on vacation. Can we, Matt, at what point did you know you were gay? This is you're leading the witness. For beginning traders, should I trade on stop limit? Trading view. I don't know what you mean by trade on stop limit. I would recommend you trade on a paper account, as in not real money, and just try to figure out the mechanics of trading and like what makes sense to you. And you could do so at no risk by using a paper trading account. Coke and code for Matt. Can you explain on how ATR works on different time frames? The higher means more volatility? No, ATR is the average true range. So it's just taking in the range of the bars for X amount of bars. You get to pick the look back period, but then it's the look back period on whatever time frame you're looking at. So literally, if you're on the 1 minute chart, it's looking at the range of the highs and the lows for X amount of bars on the 1 minute chart. But if you switch it over to the 30-minute chart, it's going to look at the X amount of bars backwards on the 30-minute chart and compute the average of the high and the lows, like the ranges of that. So it doesn't mean more volatility. It just means bigger ranges because, of course, you commonly move more in the 4-hour charts than you do in the 1 minute chart. Where and how did you learn trading? What are the most important concepts to know before you really start? I don't know. I've been doing this for a decade now. So, I mean, I started with penny stock trading, then I did binary options, then I did futures, then I was back to stocks, then I was to options, and now I'm back to futures. And right now I mainly trade. I trade futures and I trade options. I invest in stocks and I invest in crypto. I don't actively trade stocks and I don't actively trade crypto. Those two I invest in. I actively trade options. I actively trade futures. I know this is going to sound super, super simple, but it's one of those things that when you start out your trading career, you're like, no duh. Then you go through a couple of years of your trading career where you're losing money, blowing out accounts, and it fucking sucks. And then finally, if you can survive that gauntlet, you're like, oh my God, this is the same thing I knew from day one, but it makes a lot more sense now. So depending on where your trading career is, this isn't going to have as much depth in terms of the answer as you'd want. But I promise you, if you come back to this reasoning 10 years from now and you're still trading, you're going to be like, God damn, that was like spot on. The main thing is risk management. And when I say the main thing, I mean like 99% of your battle to be a successful trader is keeping your risk in control. If you're like, oh, but like I need to work on my entry strategy and I use the 20 EMA or I use stochastics or I use options. Well, yeah, that can help you a little bit here and there, but we're talking about moving the needle 1%. Like inevitably, no matter what you do and how you do it, I don't give a fuck what you're trading. It could be options. It could be futures. It could be fucking tulip bulbs for all I care. The thing that matters is your downside risk. So whether your risk is too far away, whether you're sizing up too much, or whether you're undisciplined and you're not following your risk, I promise you, and I get it, at day one in trading, you're like, duh, that makes sense. But trading does this really weird thing to your mind where you become an undisciplined degenerate and you're like, I know that's my risk, but I just don't give a shit about it. And you oversize and you start hoping and you start praying and you do all this weird stuff. So I get it. As simple as that sounds of like, no, like literally risk is by far the most important thing ever. It is. And I get it. To an outsider, you're sitting there and you're like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Like, what else would matter? And you're right. What else would matter? You're right. But talk to anyone who's been trading for 3 to 6 months. You're gonna be like, dude, I don't know why I can't follow my plan. Talk to someone who's been trading for 1 or 2 years. You're gonna be like, dude, I know what to do. Why can't I follow my plan? Why am I sizing up? Why am I going past my risk? Those are the golden questions that science does not have the answer for. And then finally, when you figure out your psychology and you stick to your trading plan and you do the appropriate sizing, you're coming back to square one where you're like, oh, wow, risk really is the most important thing. Like, it's crazy and like it's paradoxical and it sounds fucking nuts. I fully understand. But the most important thing on day one, which takes years to actually not figure out because you get it conceptually, but to like actually internalize and actually behave on it, it's just risk. Like it took me over 5 years, over 7 years. Like it took me many, many years to not understand, but to like behave in a manner that was representative of what I know to do. And with that being said, I still have days where I like take a misstep. I'm by no means pitching myself as like, oh, I trade with perfect risk every single day. A couple weeks ago, I almost had an options position blow out on me, and it didn't, and I made a lot of money, but it was luck, not skill. It was still a very poor decision. So it's something that you battle with every single day. It's not something that like you figure it out once and you're good for the rest of your life. It's like, I swear, I don't see how it could be that different. If you're actively trading, you have to have somewhat of a risk-accepting psychology to be good at this game, but you have to keep your risk in control. So it's basically like saying, hey, we're going to take alcoholics and we're going to make them work in a bar when there's a great band, a lot of cute chicks, everyone's having a fun time, and they're never allowed to drink. Like, it's like this weird mental fucking purgatory where you have to have certain psychology aspects where you couldn't pull off a big risk accepting nature and do the right thing, but you have to keep it in control. And it's hard. Like I feel like a fair analogy is basically you're just taking in an alcoholic and you're putting them in the middle of a fun party at a fun bar every single day. And that's why it's so difficult. That's why it's so incredibly difficult. I'm trying to think of the other part. You had 2 parts to your question there. So yeah, I don't know. I've been trading over 10 years and there's days where I'm still undisciplined and I fucking hate myself for it. But I also want to clarify, this entire game is just math. I'm so fucking sick and tired of these people with these models and these philosophies. It is fucking math. It is a cold, emotionless game. And really everyone's fuck up is where they like involve emotions in it. That's where it actually fucking like starts to get destroyed. But I want to be very clear. This idea of this model, that model, no, they can all fucking kick a rock. And it's like, you guys are now going to drive me up a wall, and I know you're doing this unintentionally. I'm not blaming you on this. Like, this is not your fault at all. But the fact that people think, oh, I have a model, but then we could all use the model differently and we see the market differently. Like, no, that's no longer a model. That's called discretion. If you have a model, an actual model, no, we should all be doing the exact same thing every single fucking day. I'm so tired of these dweeby ass fucking 20-year-olds who are expert traders and have 50 years of advice, and you're going to pay them thousands of dollars for their model. And then when you lose, they're like, oh, we all just see the model differently. You don't have a fucking model. You have stupid fucking opinions, and you have an overpriced Discord that you're making all of your money off of. Go fucking kick rocks. I'm so sick and tired of these models where you could have something like a fair value gap and an inverse fair value gap and make money on both. So you could have a model and then the opposite of the model and then both make money? What? This is why critical thought needs to be taught in school. The fact that so many people are so susceptible to dumb fucking statements like trade my model and also trade the opposite of my model and you're going to make money on both. Are you fucking high? What kind of logic is that? So you're saying no matter what I do, I always just perpetually make a shitload of money. That's how this works, is I can do this thing and the opposite of the thing and make money in both. It sounds like just a retarded marketing gimmick, if you ask me. Dude, it makes me fucking insane. So I want to be clear, and this is the paradox of trading. It is an emotionless, math-based game. Are you good at risk reward? Are you taking positive EV bets time and time again? Are you betting at a humble enough size, i.e. a small enough size that you can withstand variance? Great. That is the math of it. That is what the market is. But to master that emotionless mathematical organism, you have to be very much in control of your own psychology. And obviously, it's all emotional control. So it is paradoxically literally the most least emotion thing ever, but then also simultaneously the most emotional thing ever to keep your emotions in control, to realize that it is in fact emotionless. Like I said, it's the trading. And I think that's why so many people are interested in it, beyond the fact that you can make a lot of money in a very short period of time and financial freedom and blah, 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 blah. No one wants to work for anyone anymore. I get those attractions, but I think on a deeply human level, it's such a fucking enigma. It's such a crazy puzzle of, like I said, paradoxically, the most emotional thing you'll ever do in your life. And yet the best way to be successful at it is to actually be devoid of emotion and be cold and understand that the mechanism that is trading is emotionless. So I think because of that, that's why so many people are like interested in it. Like, oh, that sounds crazy. Like, that sounds like super, super crazy. So you kind of get like attracted to the absurdity of that statement. But anyone's been trading for any amount of time, I actually think they would agree with that statement. Also, side note, before I go on to too many tangents, out of all the books you can see behind me, most of them are trading books. Some of them are trading strategies. Some of them are algorithmic trading. A lot of them are individual people. I want to be clear. I don't give a fuck about what your strategy is. As long as your trading strategy has positive expected value, great. If you say, Matt, you're using EMAs and I fucking hate EMAs and I love VWAP, have at it. If you want to use stochastics and someone else is using options flow, okay. As long as they all have positive expected value, if what you're trading has positive expected value, brother, have at it. Don't let anyone get in your way. That's cool. But the one thing with the fact that you could have so many different strategies actively deployed to the market, and some of them can make money and some of them can't make money, the one thing that is common across all of the profitable ones, and obviously is not found in all of the losing ones, it really is risk management. Like, risk management is far more important than your entry model, than your exit model. It is 99% of the importance of what the fuck you're doing. So if you find yourself maybe spiraling or chasing your tail and you're like, dude, I'm looking at these EMAs and I'm looking at that breakout and I'm looking at these timeframes, just understand, take a breather and chill. Because that type of stuff of like the very specific entry, the very specific exit, that's not going to be moving the needle much. What's going to be dramatically impacting your profitability or lack thereof, it's all risk management. I'm telling you, folks. So instead of driving yourself nuts and back testing the optimization of the best EMA crossover, which way, hey, I've done it and I think there's a time and place. I'm not against it. I'm just saying, you're going to make bigger leaps forward by really dialing in your risk management. And I don't know how you are individually as a trader, but I can tell you from speaking to literally hundreds of thousands of retail traders, it is commonly true that whatever you're betting right now, whatever your bet size is right now, a good starting point is probably to cut it in half. Now, I'm not saying that's true for all of you. Maybe some of you in here are a little too timid and you're not betting enough. Maybe some of you in here are amazing and you're profitable and you're betting the exact right side. I'm not saying this is like one size fits all, but I would bet that a majority of you, as in 51+% of you in here, are probably betting too big. So a general blanket statement that I could probably say for most people, not for all, is start off by cutting your size in half. If you cut your size in half, you give yourself a lot more wiggle room to figure out what the fuck this game is. So just want to throw that out there. If you find yourself and you're like, dude, I have a good trade, but I'm getting blown out and I'm not pausing this prop firm, that prop firm, blah, 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 blah. I think a decent starting point is literally cut it in half. Just cut it in half. I trade 100% of my portfolio every day. Yeah, you might want to bring that down to like sub 10, at least on independent trades. My problem is moving my stop too early. I get tapped, checked out 400 stock loss to 900 in the green. Yeah, but also do you have real data on that? Or is that anecdotal of like the last 3 trades you had? You're like, oh, I got stopped out and it went in my favor anyway. You have to collect real data on it. What account size do you think you should start with? 0. Start with a paper trading account. I think it's as simple as everyone should start with a paper trading account. Do that till you'll feel more comfortable. Show yourself some paper trades. Then go to a SIM funded account. A little bit of risk with a potential reward. And then when you do well in the world of SIM funded and prove to yourself that, hey, you're getting payouts, blah, blah, blah. Then you go to your own funded account. In my mind, that is the best like steps to take. Paper trading, no risk whatsoever. When you feel comfortable, upgrade it to SIM funded, something like Lucid or Take Profit or Apex. And then from there, go to your own fully funded account. And honestly, you could say, but Matt, I'm trading super well. Can I do my own funded account and SIM funded? Of course, because if you're doing well across the board, that's just more money for you. So really, that might be the ultimate one, is going paper trading, SIM funded, and then SIM funded and your own funded. So let me advise that a little bit, revise that. Play those 90% off Apex deal, even if you never get a payout. They're a good value for learning. Yeah, I mean, I think they're good value. Unfortunately, right now, they're not running a deal. If you want to try SIM funded, TPT is running a 40% off with code Goonie, and Lucid is running a 50% off with code Goonie. Financially, by the time they all like get down, they're very, very similar in cost. So if you like Lucid, have a crack at Lucid. If you like Take Profit, have a crack at Take Profit. If you like both, you can use both. I'm using both right now in front of you. Here's Lucid's, here's Take Profits, here's FFN, here's Tradeify. The code Goonie will get you the best deal on any of those. Any account that I'm using, you're going to be able to get whatever the best offer is with code Goonie. But I just like to be transparent with you guys and let you know who's currently running the best deal. So earlier this week, the best deal was Apex. It's no longer Apex, so you should probably look at a different firm. I would argue just have your stable of firms that you like, and then just use the ones that that moment in time that are the most financially advantageous. Matt, why don't you do pattern trading on futures? What the fuck is pattern trading? Why don't you do pattern trading? Are you talking about like bull flags and bear flags and all that shit? I'm not against it. I just think the people who trade it don't understand the statistics. Folks, my background is computer science. I dropped out of my master's program in statistics. I approach this in a very mathematical way of like, hey, give me the data sets, prove it to me. And I find that I shouldn't say no one. I find that most people don't approach trading that way. They watch one dumb fucking video on YouTube and they're taught about a bull channel and they're like, cool, I'm going to trade bull channels for the rest of my life. But then they never stop to ask, is it real? Like, how often does it work? How often doesn't it work? When it doesn't work, how often does it go against you? When it does work, how often does it go in your favor? Does it work on better days of the week? Does it work on better months of the year? Does it work on better assets? Is it better on SPY than Qs? I find that people are taught one stupid fucking thing about patterns, and then they're like, yeah, this is going to work all the time on every single thing that I trade. If you trade head and shoulders, does it work on SPX on 1 minute? Is it better on 5 minute? Maybe it's better on NQ 30 minute. Like, people just don't ask questions. And that's what drives me up a fucking wall, is they are taught one thing and then they just accept it as gospel. They're like, this has to be real. Matt in the Goonie Discord tuned my trading mantra to profitable. I previously used to take too much risk in size. You have to manage risk. I thank Matt. Shout out, Ken. That's very kind. Oh, Muskie, it's you. You've been crushing it. Like PW. PW trades a flag, and flags do work. But if I were to ask you intraday on NQ, like, okay, I've backtested this. So I'm just curious how many of you guys actually know the answer. If you trade a flag breakout or breakdown on NQ, how often do you think it actually works? Like what percentage of the time, if we all agree, hey, you have a bull flag, you have a bear flag, how often do you think it works? Like if I gave you 100 bear flag, bull flag setups, how often do you think that goes in your favor? Jay Keith says 50-50. Well, Mike knows the answer, so that's cheating. Like 52% almost on the 1 hour. The answer is 50-50. Over the past 3 to 5 years worth of data on NQ, you have a 5% edge. So like, I'm not here to shit on it. You have an edge, and I'm a fan of trading with an edge. But to behave in a manner that it's going to work every single time and it's some sort of fucking holy grail, literally out of 100 trades, it will work 55 times. But what's interesting about the 55 is if you play it right, you can be massively profitable because of how the risk reward is skewed. So not only does it work 55% of the time, but when you catch it, it could be a big asymmetric return. So the goal in trading these bull flag breakouts or the bear flag breakdowns on NQ in the morning is to keep your risk small. If you believe you're in that 45% of the bucket that doesn't work, you then just have to cut it quickly. So then from a math perspective, the question becomes, what can you use to measure the flag not working? And most of the time, people just use a breakdown of the recent swing, like in the opposite direction, and that's fine. So like, can you make it work? Yes. And you do have a 5% edge. I'll be the first one to tell you that. But what I hate is it's taught in a manner that it always works. And I fucking hate that. I hate it because it's not the math of the market. And in fact, it's also taught in a way that it makes it seem like it works way more than 55% of the time. No, over the past 3 to 5 years, it works 55% of the time. You can make it you can make a lot of money trading it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, as always, all roads lead back to risk management. If you want to trade that technical breakout or breakdown, great. When it breaks out, breaks down, ride it to your measured move or ride it as far as you can and hope that it's asymmetric. And if you're wrong, you have to pull the ripcord. You have to pull the ripcord. But that's true with all of it. In fact, side note here, the best technical pattern is head and shoulders. Over the past 3 to 5 years, it has a 80 to 83% hit rate. Out of all technical patterns, head and shoulders has the highest edge. Just to put that out there. So if you identify as a pattern trader and you're like, but man, I love bull flags and bear flags and bull channels and bear channels and this and that and the other thing and a fucking diamond backwards Jedi Yoda. The best one is actually a head and shoulders and an inverse head and shoulders. Depending on the time frame you're on, it goes anywhere from 80 to 83% hit rate. And defining hit rate as the distance between the head and the neckline, that would be your measured target move. If you are intentionally targeting the distance from the head to the neckline, it breaks the neckline, and then that's your measured move of where you're targeting. That hits 80 to 83% of the time on major indices based on the data set of the past 3 to 5 years. So it could change just because we have patterns and whatnot. It doesn't mean that they can't change. They can. I'm just letting you know what's true for the past couple of years. On what time frame? The past 3 to 5 years. Intraday. What's the percentage of knees and toes? 69%. What time frame does head and shoulders pattern work best? Intraday, they're all pretty much the same. It's really, really hard on a head and shoulder pattern to have the setup on one time frame and it not be present on the other time frames. So there's a decent statistical overlap. You might, the further it gets away, like the 1 minute versus the 1 hour, yeah, you might see it on the 1 minute and not the 1 hour. But if you're seeing it on the 1 minute, you're probably seeing the same setup on the 5 and the 10 and the 15. So that's why there's quite a bit of an overlap. Oh, I should clarify that I didn't do any of this testing sub 1 minute. So if you're looking at like a second chart or a tick chart, I have no fucking clue. You're just ripping it, brother. You're just ripping it. I think I told you, dude. I called it out minutes after it happened, but I deeply believe this is the low of the day. Yeah, I do. I do. There's a lot of selling at 25,030 on NQ. About 10 points above where we are right now. Someone is trying to dump 712 contracts. That's a fucking monster size. So literally 10 points above where we are right now. Someone is trying to get out of gigantic size on NQ. Are we missing anything? Oh, Nutty lost his TPT accounts. That's a fucking bummer. I really like Nutty. He's a good guy. I think he's like one of the few honest people in this world. In this world of like trading and influencing and whatnot. What are we doing here? Well, I can't trade on Apex. Currently frozen. Progression just had to sweep that low and invert the fair value gap. Now straight to AATIs during the next kill zone. Dude, the fact that people follow this, they're so fucking stupid. Like, I don't know how people get tricked. He's a dipshit too. Oh, people are getting called out and saying, prove it and I'll donate to charity. Interesting. Interessante. What the fuck is my Twitter feed today? Dude, Britney Spears is losing her mind. Full year revenue. They've just been doubling up or more. 2022 to 2023 was a bit of a hit. 10 to 16, but ever since then, 27 to 60, 60 to 130, 130 to 215. What a monster. What an absolute monster of a company. That's crazy. All right, any hoozle, folks. Before you go, the best deals right now, TPT, use code Goonie on Lucid, code Goonie, 50% off there, 40% off on TPT. Pretty solid deals. If you want to trade with me, GoonieTrading.com. Other than that, that's what I have. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, reach out to me right here. Here's a contact page on Goonie Trading. This comes directly to me. It's not AI. It's not an employee or anything. This comes directly to me, and I will do my best to get back to everyone within 24 hours if you have a question, comment, or concern. So just hit me up right there if you want to reach out. Other than that, today, I'm not saying it was incredibly easy, but it was a nice, profitable day. On the Lucids, well, in total made 33. And then on the Lucids, which are the funded ones, made about 12. So that's what I really care about. And I think I'm one day away from being able to do a max payout from Lucid. So we're going to see how that goes. Folks, that's what I have for you. I do believe the bottom's put in today, but remember, I try to not predict. I let the price action just tell me what the fuck's going on. Pay attention to those big money positions. And other than that, I hope you make a shitload of money. I really, really do. I hope you make two shitloads of money. In fact, that's what I have for you. We're going to be posting content later on today, so make sure you like, subscribe, and have your notifications on Rumble, on YouTube, on MySpace, all that good stuff. And then we're going to be streaming once again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. bright and early for a payday Friday. I hope to see you there. I hope you crush today. I appreciate all the good vibes. Peace.